This is just a small example of how the increase in traffic and the impact of the supermarket is going to impact on Mullumbimby as a small town. If you look behind me up Tinkogan Street, you'll see it's a fairly narrow street, and this is one of the main streets feeding into Station Street, which is the feeder road for the supermarket. This carries a moderate amount of traffic at present, but the increase that's going to occur, which will be up Station Street to the roundabout, is going to be quite dramatic and will affect these local residents in a manner I don't think they can quite anticipate. We have the normal traffic that uses this part now, the increase in the shopping centre traffic, plus peak hour implications, and bear in mind that once large supermarkets are built, that you have the added impact of people doing daily small impact shopping. This has been proven throughout the world now that people don't do large shoppings in one go. They go to supermarkets on a daily basis and buy in small amounts. This will manifest the problem with the traffic. But this is reflective of the whole impact this traffic will have in Mullumbimby, in that if you look at Mullumbimby as a town, it is a square grid. Now, a square grid attracts rat running, and that brings about future problems in that the council has to deal with that, and they deal with it in many ways and at ratepayers' expense, i.e. traffic lights, cutting off roads, redirecting traffic. This is all going to add a lot of cost to the people of Mullumbimby and Byron Shire as a whole, because this will reflect in the rates that people pay. So I think it's all areas that people need to take into account, because if they don't, once it's here and it's happened, it's no good putting up your hand and saying, I wish I'd done something about stopping this, because there's no way of reversing it once it is in your face. Behind me, this is probably what would be considered the main intersection in town, which is the corner of Burrinburra and Daly Street. This is the intersection I feel will be most impacted as far as the town centre goes. At the moment there's angle parking in both streets, but the one particularly will be affected will be Burrinburra Street, because if the traffic increases to the volume, which I'm sure it will, you'll have to look at putting in much stronger safety measures at this intersection, which I think will require traffic lights. And to facilitate the installation of traffic lights, you will be looking at the loss of angle parking, because just to create the space for turning and through lanes, which is needed at main intersections, the only option will be to eliminate angle parking and put much less congested parallel parking. And this will have a severe impact on the town, and once again you're looking at a large expense to ratepayers. This is an expense that's not going to be borne by the supermarket if it eventuates. And I think if you look at that and think of the extra expense involved and how it impacts, then basically you've got to start thinking about the total impact in the town and realise where it's going to end.